Atiku Abubakar, who's gone to the Supreme Court to challenge the victory of President Tinubu. He's gone there now. He's asking the Supreme Court to grant him a leave to present fresh evidence at the Supreme Court. He says, look, there is every need for him to be, for fresh evidence to be accepted, and for the Supreme Court to jettison technicality and overrule, Tinubu on the fresh evidence, because President Tinubu had also gone to court, to the Supreme Court, to ask the courts not to accept any fresh evidence in the matter. But Tinubu has gone on to the Supreme Court. He's the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the last presidential election, and has given reasons why the Apex Court must grant him leave to present fresh evidence of corruption against President Bola Tinubu. According to the former vice president, the issue of presenting forged documents in an election is a grievous offense that must not be ignored on grounds of technicality. Atiku and his party are insisting that Tinubu must not or was not supposed to have participated in the February 25 presidential election he won on account of forgery and lying on oath. They both prayed the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal to hold that Tinubu violated the law when he submitted alleged forged documents in INEC to INEC in a bid or in aid of his qualification in the 2023 general elections. So it's like this matter is not going away anytime soon. It's not going anywhere. Maybe until the Supreme Court rules on it. Atiku Abubakar has said this would be until the Supreme Court rules. It would be final. When the Supreme Court rules, he would accept the outcome of whatever the Supreme Court decides. But then some Nigerians are saying, look, there's really no need for all of this. Let's move past this. Let's allow whoever it is that's there on the saddle to continue to run the affairs of the country. Some of them say, no. Things are becoming really, really bad. Brings us to the next line of conversation. Waking up this morning, you would have heard that the dollar or naira has hit 1,100 naira in the parallel market. Speculators and speculations have continued. Analysts say that who knows, by December we just may get to 2,000 naira. Before now it was 1,500 naira. That was projected, but as it is, it seems like that projection has been moved forward further to 2,000 naira before the end of the year. What does this pretend? What does this mean for the Nigerian economy? Well, with all of what's going on in the country, if the naira continues to slide, it would mean that the small manufacturing companies that we have, or the few manufacturing companies that we have, may have to shut down. That is, if they cannot access the dollar at fair rates or good rates, market rates, they would not be able to sustain their operations, and so a lot of them may be shutting down. The Manufacturing Association of Nigeria has also said that many of them are running at below 50% capacity because of the foreign exchange issues that Nigeria is dealing with. Okay, still with the economy, PMS is becoming scarce. Even though it's at the rates of 700 naira, some filling stations are shut. NPC still selling at 613 naira. Some other filling stations selling at 625, 630, and in some places 700 naira. This has left many Nigerians at almost grounded at the lowest. Transportation is moved up as well. So survival by giving 25,000 naira to 50 million Nigerians. That has come under criticisms. Some people do not believe that it's going to solve the problem. Some people believe it's another money for the boys, for those who are going to just embezzle the money, and it would not get to the actual Nigerians who this money is expected to get to. 15 million Nigerians, according to the projection by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and poverty eradication or alleviation. Now, which one is it? I get it confused a lot of times. Now, they said that the ripple effect would affect about 60 million Nigerians, because what they're targeting is 15 million households, right, with 25,000 naira. So if 15 million households get 25,000 naira, it's most likely going to affect at least 60 million Nigerians, because if, for instance, a household has 5 people, the 25,000 naira in that household or in that family. That's the calculation. Okay. Now, but the controversy continues. Yesterday, Alamin was able to share with us, his experience working with the Social Investment Program, the NSIP, and how, well, they go to rural areas, rural communities to, harvest Nigerians who are going to, benefit from the social investment scheme. And even threw up a challenge. Couldn't reach him yesterday, maybe today. But then these conversations continue. Again, you would want to ask, where's the 5 billion naira, of which 2 billion naira was given to state governors as palliatives? How's it going? Going to clean up registers in the states, and these monies were going to be sent through the states, which was why the 2 billion naira was initially released to them. Why is the federal government also doing another 15 billion naira? What's going to happen to the initial 2 billion naira that was given to the states? What would it serve? What would they, use it for something else? All of these questions have continued to linger in the minds of Nigerians. Well, let's go now to the Senate. And the Senate, there seems to be a bit of a face-off between some members of the, of the chamber, of the red chamber, that's the upper chamber, with the president of the Senate. Yesterday, 2 days ago, we saw Senator Alundume, Borno South, a member of the APC, stage a walkout after he was ruled out of order at in plenary, when he brought up an issue bordering on proceedings and how the president of the Senate has managed procedures on this, or the proceedings on the floor of the Senate, and he was ruled out of order. He walked away, left the chambers. Immediately after, there was the Senate went into an executive session, a closed door session, where journalists and all were asked to leave. And after that, the president of the Senate also met with President Tinubu yesterday, and he says, look, the Senate would not degenerate or would not get to the point where they're going to be throwing okay in the Senate. Now, that's there. There's still the conversation about buying vehicles for National Assembly members. Nigerians have been lamenting this and talking about this. The senators would get the 2023, according to what the papers are reporting. The senators would get the 2023, or have gotten the 2023 Land Cruisers, while the House of Rep members would get the 2023 Prado SUVs. Many Nigerians say this is the most insensitive times for such spendings. Some of the Nigerians say, look, if you even put all those monies together, it doesn't amount to, anything if you compared to the national budget and all of that. So let's just allow it slide. Many Nigerians will not have it, though. Many other Nigerians will not have it. They say it's not time. It's highly insensitive for people to be buying those kinds of cars for National Assembly members when ordinary Nigerians cannot even afford to pay their transportation to work. Some of them have to quit their jobs on account of, unavailability of transportation, their inability to pay transport to get to work. So I'm not even talking about feeding. People are struggling to feed themselves, but then the most important thing to our National Assembly would be to buy cars for people who are already earning so much money that they can afford to buy cars for themselves. And, well, I leave that one. And back to the conversation about, 15 million Nigerians getting palliatives. Now, earlier I did an analysis about how, the 1.3 trillion, 1.3 trillion naira would be expended on that. Again, you want to ask how much subsidy was federal government paying that allowed for Nigerians to be able to move around and live well and all of that. In 6 months, they had to pay that, the federal government was spent about 3 trillion naira in the first half of this year. So if you put 1.3 trillion naira, and you're going to spend that in 3 months on palliatives, if you double that and make that 6 months, you're going to almost get the same amount that is being spent on palliatives. Now, also do not forget that the federal government is also churning out several other trillions to the SMEs. You had about 70 billion or so, 75 billion to SMEs. They're going to be purchasing buses. They're going to be buying, building or constructing CNG stations and all of that. CNG conversion kits and all. Now, the argument is that these, if you put all of these together and we spend it at once, it would go a long way, to benefit all Nigerians for a longer period, as against paying these monies to single individuals or private, so-called marketers who make subsidy claims and all of that. But I'd love to draw your attention to something that a new video that's emerged. The former Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, what's her name now? Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was speaking, and she mentioned, she told the story of how, when they tried to remove subsidy in 2012, what happened to her. She told the story of how, her mother was kidnapped, and the kidnappers in negotiation asked that she resigned because, that her mother was kidnapped because of the removal of subsidy, and that she didn't want to pay the marketers. They didn't want to pay the marketers their monies owed, and so she should go on TV, national TV, and resign before her mother would be released. But somehow, miraculously, her mother, escaped, and she didn't resign. But then the government had to go back on its decision to remove subsidy. It goes to say that there are really, really strong people in high places, people in high places who, would not want subsidy removed. So maybe, just maybe, those people are fighting back with all of the other economic issues that we're dealing with. All right. So get your thoughts in. Those are most of the issues, or most of the, big topics this week. Get your thoughts in. It is Have Your Say Thursday. What do you say with all of this? What's the biggest one to you? Feel free to share your 7668888. That is 09073530044. 09087668888. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Elder Noja is my name.
Welcome, Elder Noja.
My regard to your family. Abubakar and Salati. My regard to them. You see, nothing the government can do unless if there is a return to social the back. If you look to those 419 in the, those timber and caliber in the oil sector, if you remove it, they will increase the petrol, they will make it so difficult for him. You see, where Buhari came to government to advise Buhari, say, Buhari has won an election, will nominate people to run your economy for you. But Buhari refused. That's why they tied the government of Buhari down. It did not succeed in Nigeria. Tinubu came, instead of it to find out what is going in the oil industry, and then what is going in electricity, say totally is removed. Remove now. Look how they are dragging the government now. And then that share money to people. You can't solve the problem. You can never solve the problem. More you pay the social, more they will dabari in government for us. Let it go down. Dissolve NNPC and know what is going there. The money you are going to share, carry the quarter of that money. Go and bring experts. Repair the refinery within 3 months or 4 months. The refinery will start to work. If you know so all what you are doing there, just invent. My brother, my little son, where he analyzed a social adjustment yesterday, I went into call where he came from, Okuland. I, Edanoja, I married from Solu, and they have 4 children with that woman before the woman left. I know that area. Let me call home. All the catch Kaba. How many people have it in Kaba? How many people have it on your own place? You can't come to radio and start analyzing. Go to Kabaland. Look how people are so hungry. No road, nothing. And then you are supporting what you're not supposed to support. And they are about to send it, my brother. You see, that thing where you happening in Senate, it never happened. Because any foundation where you make it in the wrong side, you must pull up. Look how the chairman of EFCC started disgracing them. Referring to Fabio there for corruption. This is a sitting Senate president. And instead of it to another place, he will resign immediately. But he make it last, they just laugh over it. And then he confirm the guy go away. You know the type of politics we have in Nigeria? Nigeria politicians, they are the very wicked people in the world. Look to inflation. Thank you. Look to inflation. And then they went to buy car, 160 something million. For only one person to ride. Politicians, they are the great problem to this Nigeria. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on. Nacha constantly believes that the politicians are the greatest problems Nigeria ever had. Well, if we continue like this, where do we end up? Where are we going to if the Naira continues to slide and we continue to borrow money, take loans and all of that? Let's get back. I'll also bring to your attention that the vice president is somewhere in China, and he met yesterday with the president of the People's Republic of China, and the Chinese government assured of or pledged to reinvest or refinance the rail projects in from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri and the Kaduna Abuja rail as well. Or rather, the Abuja Kano rail line. More callers are here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Ihanacha, my dear brother. My name is Alan. I'm calling from Kaduna, presently. Thank you so much. Thank you to Mr. Noja. He has said it. It is because I understand it so fully and I connect with the rural area. There is no month that I don't go to my community, that I don't visit Mopanguru, local government area of Kogi. There is no month that at least I do. There is once in a year, twice in a year. I mean, once in 3 months, people do change. This is a local government, the one part of my wife. Once in 3-4 months, I visit Azare, my maternal home in Bauchi State. There is so I understand and I connect with the poor people. I lack of the government presence. These people have been cautious. I want everyone to tell me what government presence and how many people in the community where he is now, the village he is in Kogi. How many of them is on the 25,000 naira as we speak? So how many people can comfortably give in 5,000 naira in that village where he is now? So the government is making available palliative to cushion the effect, to ameliorate the suffering, and then suddenly we are people calling and telling the government what to do it. If you are complaining that the palliative shouldn't get, it is not meant for you. The palliative is not meant for you. That is why you are advocating that should not be given. The people that is targeted at, these are people that still use camels to fetch water. These are people that still use wheelbarrows, bicycles to move their goods from the farm. These are people that 80% of their daily consumption, they produce it. The inflation rate is not as high as it is in the urban area like in the rural area. So the 25,000 in one case is as valuable as almost 100,000 in this area because of the low inflation rate there. And then suddenly Nigerians are advocating that the money shouldn't be given to them. Government presence is almost zero in these places, and then government is still remembering them and try to tell they can be encouraged for it or refinery to be open. And I'm saying that refinery is advocating for it for the elite. Because they don't consume fuel. It is we that people to those local places to have your transport and everything. But not there for the rural people. It is very cheap. And I'm thinking, I stand with the poor Nigerians on this narrative. It is a noble, good thing. And I'm still challenging anybody that says they don't know anyone that collected. Give me the name of your village, and I will give you the name. I will give you the name of the beneficiaries, the data, or you can walk into the ministry and confirm this yourself. If we should do, don't let us allow emotion to decloud our humanity. The people in the rural area have been completely cut off from basic life necessities. In most cases, they have 3-4 nurses, auxiliary nurses, attending to an entire village. Look at the people that still catches water in the river and stream. And then you are now there, you are picking more, you keep them. And then you put it up to them. How many of these 20,000, 30,000 to your people in the village? How many of these do it now? If you cannot have them, don't control their problems. Your opinion on the palliative doesn't matter because you are not targeted. You don't need it because you are not one of those very poor vulnerable homes. And now the poor vulnerable homes that need it to get it. If you can't let them, don't deny them the little attention that the government is giving them. Thank you so much, Nacho.
Thank you, Alamin. Right, moving on. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Nacho.
Good morning. Okay, Chiku, welcome.
Sometimes, if somebody's network is not clear, you just have to tell the person. And you move ahead.
No, we could hear a few things. You could hear some of the things he was saying, and you could make sense out of it.
See, how much is dollar now?
About 1,100 in the parallel market. That's in the black market.
Before December, I'm not a prophet of doom. It may head to 1,005. And we have some people that time that Mr. President wants to come to a seat. They were praising him that he's a businessman. He turned Lagos to United States of America or Dubai. But today, when we are telling them Lagos is not Nigerian, a state is not 37 states. You can rule a state and control everything in that place. But in a country where you don't have your policy addressed very well, you will lose everything. The beginning of the failure of Mr. President is because of that fuel subsidy. The announcement, it was then I know that this regime, it may not go well for him because he made a very big mistake by saying that fuel subsidy is gone without calling his cabinet. What we do with them, ask them questions. You see, any man that refuses to listen with advice, you are born to fail. Assuming you call the cabinet, what do we do about removing this fuel subsidy? By now, Nigerians will be praising him. But look at the way things are going around, all around. He just remove it and he doesn't have plans. And some people will still come and tell us to have patience, while some lawmakers are buying motor of 160 million or 130 million. Each one person will go out with it. And Nigerians are sacrificing every day. Why couldn't them sacrifice, even including the president? Let them sacrifice, reduce the cost of their salary. I'm telling you, there is hunger in the land.
All right. Okay,
so please, they should please, we are begging them, they should do the right thing. Because a time shall come, maybe your citizen, you will be calling them to listen to you, they will not listen again.
Thank you very much. Okay, Chico, appreciate you calling in. And let's get to some of the messages. Before we get to the messages, just give me a few. I'll come back to take some of your thoughts. I see the phone lines blinking. We'll take some more calls shortly. Keep it here. The conversation continues.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
It's the Tifa Jeans Carnival. Yes, the Teens and Youth Ministry of Christ Embassy Abuja Zone proudly presents Tifa Jeans Carnival with Pastor Dikko Fisher.
This carnival will stimulate, refreshen, and rebuild your relationship with God.
Don't miss the Tifa Jeans Carnival if you are a young person living in or near Abuja on Saturday, October 21, 2023, starting at noon at the Velodrome, National Stadium, Abuja.
It will be spiritually exciting, fulfilling, and and soul lifting.
The Tiva Jeans Carnival. There is nothing like it.
Experience inspiring discussions, heart-pounding music and dance like never before.
Don't miss out on the Tiva Jeans Carnival. Mark your calendars and spread the word. See you there, and God bless you.
Christ Embassy, giving your life a meaning. Powered by Christ Embassy Abuja Zone.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Has anyone told you you can talk about your business on radio for just 15,000 naira? Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur. Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. The Entrepreneur. Talk your business for just 15,000 naira. Hurry now.
Go to Financial Services Regulation and Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, Tinyere National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, Johera Doho Bodakanante, Banyandina Tumberego, Iwakwadogi, Bo Illegal Financial Operators, IFO, Nkeneme Kandimatu Yarim Quanto Quazubioso, Tinyere Nangalabana Humakegu na Nigeria, Enwagin Kudusike, Hajis Johera, Wando Hobodo, Kahakusi Tunendina Tumberego, Enwagapuike, Imokwadiki Menchopota, Banyala Puike, Ulong Jotwa, Titanakara website in there, www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng. Makinye pesa banyere buruburego n'Odiobla. Bo 0700-225-5226, 0800-225-5226, Mobile +234-817-665-6273. Uzi Asinaga, FSRCC.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Back to the conversation. Thank you so much for leaving your dials locked on your radio experience. You can count on. We've been talking about the big issues in the polity this week. Get your thoughts in because let's have your say Thursday. 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning once again. The
Good
media
morning.
aristocrat
Abubakar.
calling you from Gorgolega.
Nice to have you.
Permit me to engage you very briefly, Ihenacho. You are a media practitioner. How do you build your capacity? I want to ask. You build your capacity by practicing your profession. It brings out the best out of you. You create excellence. You create innovation. You bring out creativity in you. If we continue as a nation, if our leaders continue patronizing foreign cars, are they building our strength in the automobile industry? So they are just trying to create, to service their narrow interest. It is about selfish interest. We have somebody who produces car in Nigeria. Even if they want to buy car for themselves, let them patronize made in Nigeria goods. And you can't tell me that any country in the wide world who build her economic strength by sharing palliatives. Among the miracle economies of South Asia, if we are talking of Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea, mention anyone that build her economy by sharing palliatives. And what scare most of the majority of Nigeria is corruption associated with distribution of palliatives. We know what transpired in the last administration, where school feeding program is associated with a lot of corrupt practices. Some schools, public schools, never existed, but they are captured in the program, which run into billions of naira. So we want the only palliatives that will go around is affordable fuel price. that will stimulate economic create job, move goods and services, attract investment and trade. That is my take.
Thank you very much. Let's get to more calls. Let's bring this one in. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Yana John.
Good morning, Okwi.
I greet you. I greet all listeners.
Maximum greetings.
I want to speak on the topic, please. Issue of this luxury cars. That's the Helos. Yes, Land Cruiser and Prado Jeep for National Assembly. That's another way of corruption. You know, you see this year, we also called our leaders. Although, at times, I can't blame them. You know, in 2015, APC came with the propaganda. And some Nigeria accepted them. You see what is happening. So all this lamentation, crying cannot solve our problem. Because some of us are the cause of our problem. They come with the change. You accepted them. Look at all the 8 years Buhari wasted under APC. And another person enter as you know, they wasting our time. So we in Nigeria, we should bear it. Yes. Crying and lamenting cannot solve our problem. Next option is protester. We must protest, enter villa, pursue them. That's the only alternative.
I don't know about that,
yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Don't use this platform to instigate anything, please. Let's not do that. Okay, I promise you to get you audio from Ngozi Okonjo, well as testimony of how she survived as Minister of Finance during her time under President Goodluck Jonathan, the former president. Let's bring in more callers and then we get to that shortly. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, seems like nobody's home there. Okay, Ogenemano says, who is vulnerable this time? You go on to say, is a very good question to ask, my prince. Giving money to people as palliative is not the answer and would never be the answer. Ask China and other countries which have tried this method. You also add, what does the government take Nigerians for? Government spending billions of naira to purchase cars for members of the National Assembly at a time when millions of Nigerians are going to bed with empty stomach. Why are we like this? Has anything that the price has gone up ever come down in Nigeria? Take the case of the naira rates to the dollar exchange and the daily increase in the price of goods and services. May God intervene in our situation. Ogenemanu from Ado, Nasarawa State. Thank you very, very much. But I'm good. I'm very well. I'm okay.
I think it's a sign of this economic meltdown that everybody's facing. Nobody's happy.
Moses.
Yeah, you're showing on your voice. Okay. Our brain, we do the calculation how to survive, but yet the brain is over-calculated now. So the Lord will help us.
Amen.
Yeah, I think sometimes people may look at people in the urban area as if we, as the fact, they are not sure. Compare the town and the village. The villagers, some of them are doing well. So they are funny. They are the one making the town to survive because they bring their food. But look at somebody who is renting a house. All your students are attending schools. You need to pay light bill. You need to pay water bill. All these extra amenities you need to pay for. And you have a low salary income. These children can no more go to school. That's what are we saying? Which of the dividends are we enjoying? Village, you are seeing village. Sometimes we talk about village. You don't talk about even network because somebody can just even sit down and so on and so forth. No electricity, you don't pay light bill. Look at the news we get this morning. Nigerians are paying about how many billion for darkness. No, and yet you are not enjoying light. Even if your wife is using light as maybe hair salon or maybe grinding or whatsoever, you can't use light. What are we saying? There is a control, the economic complaints have been controlled down. Nothing is working out. That is why we are giving recommendation to this station, which God has been helping us. They should look to our request. Okay, look at it, the importation of PMS to this country. People that are importing it say they can't no more import again because of the high cost of it. What are we saying? A nation that is blessed with mineral resources. We have 4 refineries or function 4 refineries. Why not put them to people? You talked about rail to Maiduguri. Why your refineries are not working? Why not bring? There is this emergency, something that needs to be done. Then you talk about giving the vulnerable Nigerians 25,000. Yeah, not sure. If they give you 25,000, will you survive within this week? What are we saying?
That's me. My problems are different from the problems of those in the villages.
Even nobody now you can give 25,000 now to survive. In this economic method, how much is the price?
Moses, let's be honest. There are people who are begging for 5,000 naira in a week, like who are literally begging to get 5,000 naira. Let's be honest. Let's be honest about this. Have you been to the streets and you see people who are beggars now? There's a lot of people who are looking for that kind of money to survive.
You need to understand me. What I'm saying here is that the situation on the ground, 25,000 cannot even solve. That's just what I'm saying.
I get you.
Yeah, that's just what I'm saying.
All right.
So, like a woman yesterday, look at the woman that was crying yesterday on the story. So when I had it on radio, a woman that was separated. Is that not so?
Mm-hmm.
You see that somebody was sponsoring her, and now the person can no more go to work again. That are going through their life. We have experienced past government. And now, in this critical condition, we are going to buy a car 1 million, 160 something million. That is what we are saying. So
right.
if these governments will look at the cry and the suffering of the masses.
All right,
so
Moses, into this.
Please put your minds to this problem. It's alive today. My second, who were importing the product. These numbers seemed horrendously large compared to what I had last seen when I was in government in 2006, which was closer to $2 billion in subsidy. So we decided to audit these claims. We audited about 8.8. Many of these marketers were trying to claim $2.5 billion fraudulently. With the full backing of the president and the economic team, we decided that we were not going to entertain these claims or to pay. The pressure from the affected marketers was tremendous, as we tried not only to say we would not pay, but also we would clean up the whole mechanism for the subsidy claims and put in place something more transparent, something clearer. This did not go down well with them. When we stuck to our position of non-payment and implementation of the new verification regime, these strong and well-connected vested interests were angered and seemed to blame me personally for this. There were personal consequences. My 83-year-old mother, a retired professor of sociology, was kidnapped by 4 young men and held for 5 days. Keeping her wits about her as she was totally terrified, she asked them why she had been kidnapped. And they told her, quote, because your daughter, the finance minister, refused to pay oil marketers their dues. The kidnappers, negotiating with my brother, demanded my resignation publicly. I should go on television publicly and announce my resignation and depart from the country as a condition for my mother's release. Needless to say, these were some of the worst days of my life. Imagine, when you are in position, you want your parents, all of whom are here with you today, and your relatives, to be proud of you. You want to be a source of good for your family. You can imagine how I felt sitting there and thinking, just because of trying to do something right, to implement a good bit of policy that was good for the country, this could lead to the taking of my mother's life.
There, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala speaking on her experience as Minister of Finance, trying to clean up the subsidy regime in 2012. And 2012 to this time, it's been a lot must have gone on under the carpet. A lot of things must have happened. And you know that you're up against some really very powerful people who would go to any lengths just to make sure that.
Hello, good morning.
The regime continues. Yes, good morning.
Am I on to Hinacho?
Yes, this is he. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, my name is Femi, and I'm calling from Wuseti.
Femi, you're welcome.
Am I calling again? I give some strength to my argument each time I have to discuss this. I've always been wondering why our dear president will remove subsidies, spend so much again to give palliative. Then what is the sense behind that? You are giving palliative. The palliative will still not even go anywhere. The palliative will not palliate anything eventually. Then how do you even quantify the job losses everywhere? What we are losing with this palliative thing, with this removal of subsidy thing, is the government aware of it at all? Are they really prepared for this? Do we deserve this kind of treatment from them? Because everything they are doing now is, there was a senator then a governor that was recorded to have told a widow to go and die. He said it with his mouth. But the government today is telling us with all of their actions to just go and die. They don't even send anybody. And then come to think of it, we are so broke and we can afford 160 million vehicle for 360 house members. This is satanic. This is not sensible. I just hope all these our discussions on radio are being heard by those in government so that they should be getting the feedback. I'm sure by now they know that people are suffering. What are they doing about that? Are they happy taking people through this phase of their life? I mean, how do you feel when you just wake up and discover that you are a very poor fellow? You really cannot feed, you cannot transport. Today people go to work thrice in a week, and then because not that they want to sit at home, but they can't even afford taking themselves to work for the 5 days of the week. Is this what we deserve from this government? Just help us ask them. Is this how they want to go about it? Are we saying other fellows will not be able to go about this recklessness in a subsidy regime without inflicting so much of pain on the people? But they should continue. I'm sure this will not last too long. A time will come when the hungry will not be able to, endure the hunger any longer. By that time, jungle will have properly matured.
Thank you very much.
And then we will sit down and again talk again.
Thank you very much, Femi. Appreciate you calling in. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my mentor.
Good morning to you.
My name is John from Suleja.
John, I'm glad you're here this morning. Let's hear you. It's always a pleasure to have you.
This Okonjo-Iweala thing you reveal is so I don't know how to handle it. You see what is going on in this country. Some set of people are holding the country hostage. But those who are supposed to do something are not doing it. You don't want to tell me that they don't know about it. They know about it. But it's like they are afraid of some certain set of people. So unfortunate though. Now coming to the palliative. It's like somebody always go to the river with a basket. You went to the river, you use basket to carry water to come home. At the end, you have nothing in your basket. I don't know. Seriously, Tinubu took over the mantle of leadership. He's just running from pillar to pole with no clear-cut ideology. You bring money, you share. You bring money, you share. We are telling people that this thing will not work when they attempted the first attempt of palliative to people. Say, how can you borrow this money? Yes, we are hungry. Yes, we don't have money. Put this money into refinery. And here I want to ask you, can you now borrow money to build a house in the bank, commercial bank, and they will give you that money? With that, they will look at you. How are you going to pay this money? And you can't borrow money to construct roads, for God's sake. You must do something that you must invest it where it will yield results so that you can pay them back. You bring money and share. And how do you intend to pay back? That is really my word. Are you keeping this debt for children yet unborn? We are telling these people, they don't even want to listen to people. People say, no, we need our refinery back. Please, if it is something you can achieve in these next 4 years, we will be glad. Every other debt, you pick this other credit that are coming, other gain that are coming from this refinery and pay back all this debt we are owing. It's getting too huge. But what do we see in this government? Government of the rich, government of the few, by the few, and for the few. You go and this is the second time he's talking about giving money to National Assembly. National Assembly who is not productive. And I was watching a television where a major general was saying throughout his lifetime, now he was paying 250,000 naira, and somebody from National Assembly will go home with hundreds of billions of naira, and they are still telling him you are going to give him Prado, Land Cruiser Prado, and you're going to give him. Is it not very unfortunate? What kind of are we running this country for the few people? Eh? Answer me now. You are not saying my mentor. Answer me.
John, I will not be the one providing answers to you this morning. Let the people who you are asking provide those answers. John, thank you very much, John. Thank you so much for calling. Now, at this lowest, to do the math, someone asked, if you're buying cars of 160 million for 360 people, what would that amount to? Well, it's going to amount to about 57 billion 600 million naira. That's just for cars. That's just for the cars that they're going to use. We also, the other time we heard about the National Assembly budgeting 24 billion naira for accommodation for National Assembly members. This may not just be the problem. Now, imagine what's happening at the executive level. All of these spendings, allocated to the National Assembly. Some people say, oh, it's very minute. If you look at it, the National Assembly is not getting up to 10% of national budget and all of that. But, I mean, George Orwell's Animal Farm, all Nigerians, but some Nigerians are treated as more Nigerians than others. Some Nigerians seem to be more Nigerian than others. It's a good place to leave the conversation this morning. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of it. Calling, those of you who just sat back to listen, we really appreciate you. Thank you for being there. Let's do some more tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow, some other issues. Stay with us here on your radio experience. You can count on. My name is Nacho Prince. Really sad how you end the conversation when it's getting more interesting. Thank you very much again. Business News comes up.